Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That is Lauren.
Hello.
We are thawing out. We'll get to that in a second. Instagram, you'll find us on Instagram. Search Wilder Show Pod. You can email us, and that's good. If you want to send us email, just send it to podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before, wherever you get your podcast. Also on the TikTok now and again. And do please like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. Speaking of email, I don't know if you saw this one from Ryan. Give just first
Something
names.
new?
No, it came a couple of days ago, but I had not seen it. He said, catching up on my episodes that I missed. And so he was on episode 106. And he said, so funny and true. I'm laughing at y'all talking about the words and phrases we use as crutches. I don't know why, but some of these have become like nails on a chalkboard for me over the years. My boss says as well at the end of most sentences, even when it doesn't make sense. He goes on. Talks about
you're kindred spirits, apparently, and I know I can speak for you. I know another time when it really bothers you, it's when it's used at the beginning of a sentence.
Yeah, it is.
Like if somebody said as well. I was gonna say, we're thawing out, but I still don't have any milk.
No,
which is another story. But if somebody said we don't have any milk and as well, no bacon.
As well too, and also it's just out of an abundance of caution was one that everybody used all the time. And I think the most interesting thing about those things, I don't know whether they start online or they start on social media, but there was a time when people always said, yeah, not so much. Right? Remember? Not so much was a big phrase people would use a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, so thanks, Ryan. I love when we get email. Email podcast@wildershow.com. We're thawing out, though there are, and I have personal close-up encounter with such, there are some places that are still frozen.
A little slippery.
And they are slippery.
Yeah, they're slippery and they're hard once you hit.
Yes. Let me just confirm that. And, I am very, very careful on walking on ice.
Yeah.
I just know that I know people who have, fallen, they've broken things. And I know that, there comes a certain time in your life where if you ever were going to allow to break things, I'm no longer there. I'm no longer in that stage.
A little more old and brittle.
Well, just the consequence of breaking stuff at a certain age is different than when your bones bend, like rubber when you're a kid. And so I was walking on ice and was being very careful with a hat tip to the president. It was careful, the likes of which no one has ever seen before. And I did. My feet came out from under me. And I was going backward, and then I put one foot down in order not to go backward, which of course made me go the other way, which I went forward.
I bet it all happened really fast, and it felt like about 5 minutes.
It was ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
So I went down, and then I looked down. It was like it wasn't as pretty as a snow angel.
A little more haphazard than a snow angel.
Looked like a fallen snow angel.
There you go.
But all is okay.
Good.
Minnesota, we said we'd say a word about Minnesota, what's going on in Minnesota, and I'm glad we waited. That thing that the whole thing, I know you know the story by now. Well, do you know the story by now? We all know the story of Renee Good, right? The woman,
yes,
the poet, the mother of three, and how that all played out. And then there was another one, and that was the Alex Pretty. Sorry. It's Pretty, isn't it?
It is.
It's Alex Pretty. It's Pretti. Alex Pretty. And he was shot and killed by ICE officers. Now, the weird part is what we didn't know a couple of days ago that we do know now. Less than 2 weeks before the event where he was fatally shot, Alex Pretty was involved in a heated encounter with federal agents. According to the new video that you probably have seen by now. Last time we were on the podcast, we didn't even know about this other event.
Right.
Where just, less than 2 weeks before when he was shot and killed, there was this encounter. We didn't even know about it. And I think yesterday there were two versions of the video that came out, and one of them is a longer version. He taunts the officers, and he says, I won't use the words, but he says, "Come on, assault me." And it was just crazy.
Yeah.
He's cussing, and they walk away from him, and he spits at their car, and then he rushes their car, and he kicks the taillight once, and it didn't break, and so he runs up and kicks it again, and it breaks, and law enforcement gets out of the car and says, "Okay," and puts him on the ground.
Probably the desired result, right?
He got what he wanted.
The attention.
Yeah, when they came out of the car, he was yelling at them more like, come on, assault me. And they didn't assault him, but they did contain him and detain him for a short period of time, but then they let him go.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to be insensitive to people that die. Every loss of life is tragic. We have to say that sort of boilerplate thing, and it's true. But this is not happening to people who are not trying to impede law enforcement officers. Think of it this way. You see a traffic stop where police are instructing a person in the car to do something. The person in the car does not want to do what they're instructed to do. Things begin to escalate. And what you think is a good idea is you're going to step between the law enforcement and the person of their interest, and you want to try to keep them from doing what it is they're doing. And by the way, you're carrying a gun, legally or otherwise.
Not a good idea.
No, it is going to go very, very badly for you. Now, whose fault is that, honestly? When you do that, a little bit of that is on you. And so I would just say, yes, it's tragic what happened, but these are not peaceful protesters. These are people obstructing law enforcement in the middle of a law enforcement operation. If you think of it that way, like the traffic stop, of course you should never do that. Well, they're pulling over another person. That's not really fair. I think they pulled him over because they're profiling him. So I'm going to stop in. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I don't know why these people, and by all accounts, both wildly liberal, why they feel the need to do this for people who are in the country illegally. Now, we're going to get to where I think the administration is making some big mistakes in a second. But I just don't get it. I think liberals have always wanted to attach themselves to causes, you know? Mm-hmm. There are several causes that for them, they're markers in their highest association. One is Vietnam. Every war is another Vietnam. We're afraid it's going to become another Vietnam. That's one.
Right.
The other is the Civil Rights March. Blacks having the chance, Selma, marching for, every march is likened to the marches with Martin Luther King Jr. The other is Watergate. Those are their three things. When you see these things on the news, protests, whatnot, marches in towns, just know that the people that are doing it are feeling like they are Martin Luther King Jr. and they're making the march, and it's all the righteousness. And if this is going on, I want to be attached to, quote, the right side here. I want history to show that I was attached to the correct side. It's not the correct side. Tom Homan is the he's the border czar, and he's the new sheriff in town in Minnesota. They called back the guy from Texas who was, I think, doing a pretty good job. But they had to make a change, obviously, right? Had to make a change. And so Tom Homan has been tasked with fixing it. So much of what we are seeing falls into the category of it's not what you're doing, it's the way you're doing it. I've had somebody in my life tell me a couple of times, it's not what you're saying, it's the way you said it.
Anybody who's ever been told, "Thanks, Mom,"
Mom. Sorry,
by a teenager knows that it might not be what you said, maybe the way you said it.
Sorry, Mom. I think this falls into that category. This is, I think, very much an 80-20 thing. What's going on is an 80-20 thing. When Trump was running for office again, and he said, we're going to, clean it out. We're going to the worst of the worst. We'll get rid of the worst of the worst. We're getting the worst of the worst.
You mean this last time, during this last campaign?
who are here illegally, going to get them out of the country. The worst of the worst. That is why that's why immigration was high on the list of priorities. And people said, yeah, if you're in the country illegally and you're a murderer or a rapist or involved in trafficking or things like that, absolutely get them out. I think 80% of the country, I don't know the numbers. But I think probably it's an 80-20. 80% said absolutely. Forget about anything else. No further explanation. But if they're in the country illegally and they are a rapist or a murderer, let's get them out of the country. I agree with that. And I think 80% of the people agree with that. Starting with the worst of the worst. Let's start with the worst of the worst. So even if we're going to get to other people later, let's start with, we've got plenty of people that are the worst of the worst. The gang members from the Aragua, whatever, all those, Tres Aragua. Let's get rid of all those people first. We can all agree on that. Democrats agreed on that. Liberals agreed on that. But I think it's exactly the opposite. 20% agree and 80% don't with some of the things we're seeing in some of these cities. Yes. Yeah. They say, this is not what we voted for. And honestly, I understand. I'm not saying, I'm not going to argue against their point. That is their point. Their point is they had reasons to support Trump regarding immigration, and this was not that. Where is the deal of getting the worst of the worst? That's what we thought we were going to do. If you were going to remove 1 million people from the country, 1 million illegals, do you know how many that is a day?
How many?
That is 4,000 people a day. I mean, if we have 1 million people that are here that are among the worst, let's target the worst of the worst. I think just from a political standpoint, especially in a midterm election year, the thing to do is to say, we're going to regroup. Some mistakes were made, and what we're going to do is we're going to target the worst of the worst. And the best thing that I believe that the administration could do, and I mean in the next couple of weeks, have a series of high-profile arrests of violent illegals and say, these are the people that are removed. We went and we got this guy because he's done this, and this, and he's now out. Got this gal in. She was involved in trafficking and hired coyotes to bring people into the country. Human trafficking. We got her out of the country. This guy was a drug dealer, and he also was a rapist, and he's a child molester, and we got him out of the country. We need a series, the administration needs a series of things like that will sort of stamp into people's minds and sort of crowd out the other stuff that is arguably, a problem. I don't think they're going to do that, but I think they should do that.
Do you think that's fallen by the wayside in favor of what's going on in cities like Minneapolis? I mean, certainly they haven't stopped targeting violent criminals.
We're not seeing any of that, though, are we? We're not seeing any of that. We're not seeing any of the, here's the latest guy that was doing this or doing that. I'll tell you part of the problem.
I just can't imagine that would be let go.
Well, part of the problem with Minnesota is, remember, you had other law enforcement on the ground in Minnesota because of the huge fraud that's going there, like $9 billion stolen by people who came into that community and fake this and fake that and fake this. And we got, retirement homes, and we separately have another Somali group, according to reports, owned a transportation company. And then you have the retirement village hires the transportation to come take the folks to the mall or the casino or whatever. And it turns out nobody's traveling anywhere. Nobody's charging everybody money. And it's a huge scam. So we already had law enforcement going on. Big stuff going on in Minnesota and Minneapolis, St. Paul, because of that. And largely that is an immigration problem. You have people that have come into the country from Somalia, and they're concentrated there in Minneapolis, and they're doing these scams. So, okay, you know what? I think we need a crackdown on immigration, apparently, in Minneapolis. Now you bring ICE in. So it's a bad scene. It seems to me, let's put a bow on Minneapolis. Let's leave law enforcement there to take care of this fraud thing and the scam. And then separately, if there are people that are the worst of the worst, get them out, make it high profile. But go to other cities where it's high profile. There are people in Republican states that are high profile. Somebody in Louisiana. Louisiana has invited the National Guard. Governor of Louisiana is Republican. Okay, fine. Let's go in there and show, hey, we're here to help you. We want to help you, states. There are 3,000 federal law enforcement officers in Minneapolis. Do you know how many police officers they have in Minneapolis? 600.
Wow.
There are 5 times the federal law enforcement as there are local police officers.
Has that number dropped since the George Floyd? Is that a normal number for Minneapolis? It is. Okay.
Yeah. And they worked really hard to get the community bought back in. That we're here to help you, and we're here to, help you. We're not going to help you commit crimes, but we're here to help you. We're the good guys. I think is what they, and I would like to see the federal law enforcement get that same feeling that its governors, even liberal governors of liberal states, would say, you know what? If the federal government is offering us assistance and we don't have to pay for it, and it won't turn crazy riotous, yes, let's bring them in. That is when you know you've hit a level of success. I'm not sure we're going to get there, but I would like to see a liberal governor, Pritzker in Illinois or Gavin Newsom in California, say, yeah, we do want the help, and here are the conditions of the help. Not just the money. We want the help. Come in and help us maintain law and order. Do what you did in Washington, D.C. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to ever do that because they can't appear to say anything good about the president. Now, sometimes bad stuff happens. I don't know if you know that or not, but life happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes death happens. And it certainly could be the case that this guy, Preddy, he did have a gun on him. It could be that the law enforcement thought his cell phone was a gun and they fired on him. It could be that the gun was taken off of him, which is one report, that he was disarmed and that that firearm misfired or accidentally fired. And once there was one gunfire, police opened up on the guy that apparently could have been the guy. Or it could have been that the police officer said, gun, or he could have said, I have the gun, right? Once a police officer hears the word gun, I mean, they are highly attuned to what they might be doing next. Now, in each of those cases, it could be an accident. It's not a murder. It's a death, but it's not a murder. So even if everything is going great, even if it was a Democrat president in a Democrat state with a Democrat governor and it resulted in a death, it could happen. Accidents happen. It could happen to a liberal side too. So we don't know. We still don't know in the case of Alex Preddy exactly what the deal is, except we do know this. He did taunt previously, 11 days previously, taunted and attacked a police vehicle twice, spat on police or law enforcement and taunted them, then damaged their car and ran away and screamed, assault me, blankers. If he hadn't done that, he would not be dead. That's true. We know that. They would not have sought out to shoot him. And he was not there, honestly. I don't think you can say you're there to peacefully protest if you are damaging police vehicles and obstructing police officers. That is not a protest. That is a riot. And riots sometimes result in people dying. So, go back to where I started. The loss of life is tragic, there's no doubt. However, he would not be dead if it were not for his own actions. That's a fact. Ilhan Omar, you know who that is?
I do.
Ilhan Omar. She is, I don't know how much you dig into the stories on Ilhan Omar, man. Some wild things thought of about her.
Oh, really?
Yes. I won't get into them here.
Not very much is the answer to the question.
Yeah.
How much
You saw that she had a, what do you call it, a town hall?
She did.
She had a town hall meeting, and there was a guy, I don't remember his name, it's some long name, foreign sounding name, no offense. And I don't think he was really a good protester. He squirted a syringe of something at her as he walked by the podium. A syringe, it's like this much. It's like 10 cc's of something.
What would have made him a good protester?
Something, like a coffee mug full or something. That little, it's like
of something that wasn't.
Oh, I don't.
I'm trying to compare this with the difference between a protest and a riot.
Yeah.
Like what certainly we can't say that he would have been a better protester had he shot something dangerous.
No.
at
Yeah,
her, right?
let me reword that. All I meant was this guy was not serious about anything. He had a syringe full of what turns out to be apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
So he's got a syringe of apple cider vinegar, and he walks in front of the podium and he squirts it at her and says something.
We don't know what he said.
No, but the point is, I'll tell you the weird part. At that moment, nobody knew what he had squirted, and everybody said it smelled horrible, right?
Yeah.
How do they not immediately secure her to make sure that she doesn't have acid on her or poison on her, or there's some smell that could, be a problem for everyone around him? She just keeps on doing her speech. That is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that for a second. Somebody, if there was a smoke bomb or whatever, we'd say, "What? We don't know what that is." I mean, they didn't know what he was squirting on her, or sprayed on her. They didn't know what it was. How can they so quickly go, okay, yeah, just keep on talking? That's weird. I'm not saying she's a part of it. I'm just thinking it's odd. And it was a little tiny thing that he did. It was, I don't know. It's like holding up a postage stamp in a protest at the mall in Washington.
Yeah.
You can't let you read that.
Nobody can
Nobody
see
can
it.
read that. You can't see it. It doesn't do any good. So I don't know what that. I think maybe we'll know more about that. But I think he was charged with 3rd-degree assault or something. It's the equivalent of. I mean, honestly, it would have been more serious if he'd like thrown a raw egg at her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. But a little tiny vial of apple cider vinegar.
Yeah. I see what you mean about them. They didn't know what it was immediately.
That's what I'm saying.
They
I
did
think
take him down right away.
they took him down because they were afraid he was a threat.
Yeah.
But beyond that, if he has released something into the atmosphere, I thought we lived in a world where everybody, there's all kinds of different things and poisons and gases and something is aerosol and it could be acid. We've heard stories before of people throwing acid on people, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was just weird.
Yeah.
Karen, you know what Karen is, right? Karen, I feel bad for that. I mean, Karen,
I do.
Karen is a good name, right?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I've got a cousin named Karen. I know some Karens.
Uh-huh.
One of my childhood friends, I won't say her last name, a very good friend, Karen.
I had a cousin named Karen.
Yeah.
Still do.
This childhood friend, very smart. She made a 1600 on her thing. I mean, no
Wow.
mistakes on the SAT, and probably whatever the top it's different today, but in those days, whatever the top was on ACT, full ride, Harvard University.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did she go?
Yeah,
That's where she
did.
went? Yeah. Good for her.
Yeah, she lives up in the D.C. area doing something. I don't know what she's doing. Probably not exactly what is her job title. She may be making America great again in some other ways. Anyway.
You said you have a cousin named Karen, too?
I do. Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever, maybe.
Stephen, Ronnie, and Karen.
Yeah. Okay.
It was my mom's
So
uncle.
we both have
Uncle
cousins named Karen. It's a popular name.
It is.
Popular name for people of our generation, for sure.
Once upon a time, it was just a name. Then it became sort of shorthand for a very specific type of woman, a white, middle-aged woman who sports a dramatic but manageable haircut, treating service staff with contempt
Yeah.
and a belief that the world should revolve around her every need. Amy Cooper, you may not remember that name, Amy Cooper in 2020 really took off right around then. She was in New York City.
It didn't.
This is so
when
bad.
it started, it didn't have anything to do with the service worker, though, did it?
No, but it was just that everything should revolve around you. It's all about you. If kids are in your lawn, you're a Karen. If you're,
Well, if you're
complaining, that's
about
what I
the
mean.
kids in your
complaining.
lawn.
Yeah, kids get out. Oh, there's Karen again. Well, the name really took off in 2020 after Amy Cooper, white dog walker, called the police on a black bird watcher in New York City and was forever labeled the Central Park Karen. Tons of other examples of her kind springing up and sort of metastasized across the internet. And people love to laugh and point at the Karen. But if you're really honest, we all have inside of us a little bit of Karen.
You think so?
They've come up with a name for boys, a boy name for a boy Karen. And I didn't even know this. Let me read the description of him first, and then we'll get to his name. He is the man who insists he's just being honest while actually being cruel. If he's ever in an argument, he will threaten to pull up a study to prove his point, though he never actually will. And if he doesn't already have a podcast, he's thinking of starting one.
That could be anybody.
I know. The appliance store Curry's, I don't know Curry's.
I don't either.
Curry's in another, probably New York. The appliance store Curry's created an Instagram post and asked this: anyone taking part in No Josh January? So Josh is the name.
The male Karen,
Mm-hmm.
the male equivalent.
Mm-hmm. Josh does not yet have a singular agreed upon definition, but based on the memes. And by the way, the guy that wrote this piece is also named Josh. He felt bad, so he wrote a piece about it.
Mm-hmm.
He said there's a new meme, and it's me.
That's a younger name.
Mm-hmm. It is.
You know, Josh is
mm-hmm.
a younger name, I think, for men than Karen is for
Yeah, I think that's
women.
true. Based on the memes, he says, my so-called friends have joyfully sent me recently, reveling in the hilarity of my suddenly unpopular name. I have learned the following. He is apparently the bane of any white woman he's dated. So there you go. The male Karen.
I can laugh because it's not my name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That would be a bummer.
Yeah, if
that
your name.
was your name.
People make fun of you.
Mhm.
I thought about that with Karen. I thought, why do they say that? I don't know where that started. I mean, it'd be one thing if you said what started because a woman named Karen was,
Right.
was a haint, and she
Right.
was, yelling at everybody.
Yeah.
And so, that's Karen. Okay, do you want to be like Karen? So everybody that does that and lives like that is Karen. But I don't think it was that. It is time for Scattershoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scattershoot. All right.
Amazon confirmed 16,000 corporate job cuts earlier this week. We already knew, they said in October that they were going to cut about 30,000
Dang.
with possible further reductions beyond that. I think a lot of these were concentrated in the area of the brick and mortar Amazon Fresh grocery stores. They closed all of those,
Really?
and also the Go markets. We've been in the Amazon Go markets. They're in other places too, but I think you and I have seen. Well, I've seen them predominantly in airports.
Airports, yeah, that's the one where you don't need. There's almost nobody there, and it reads you.
Yeah, there
You
might
grab
be
your stuff.
nobody working.
Yeah.
When you say almost nobody there, there's nobody there to check you out.
No, that's
you
what I mean.
do that yourself. You just walk in and you let them know that you're an Amazon. You got the app, right?
Right,
Amazon. You have to have Amazon Prime to do that.
I don't know.
Maybe I don't know either, but it charges you based on that on your way out.
And you go. You
Yeah.
just grab it and go. It really is grab it and go.
Yeah.
And so we had talked about the how Amazon at one point bought was Whole Foods.
Yes, that
And
was
it-
a while ago.
And that we thought weren't they we recently talked about one of the things where they were doing some
Oh, that's
an
another.
automation thing, and they were working on that. Automate. Remember that?
I
'Cause
don't
was-
know if this is the thing that you're talking about, but they did say that a lot of this has to do with what they're trying to do is reduce bureaucracy and abandon underperforming businesses. So that's where the Fresh goes away, and the Go stores go away. Another thing they're dropping though, and I thought this is where you were going because I do shop at Whole Foods from time to time. They're dropping its Amazon One biometric payment system, which scans the palm of a customer's hand. I see that there every time I check. A lot of times I just get it online and then I go pick it up.
Yeah.
But when I walk through a line there, that's always something that you can do that I've never taken the steps to,
Well-
be able to, identify myself just by the palm of my hand, but they're not going to do that anymore.
I think that is the kind of thing that, while it might be not a problem, people aren't ready for.
Yeah.
People are not ready for putting their handprint down and having that be the way they buy.
So let me write this down.
Goods.
So no female president and no palm
That is correct.
scanning to buy
That is correct.
to buy your groceries.
Let me say
Okay.
this for now.
For now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 30,000 represents just a small portion of Amazon's 1.58 million employees, of course, but it's nearly 10% of their corporate workforce. And it's one of the largest job cuts in their 3 decades. Between 22 and 23, they took out 27,000 jobs.
Golly.
So this is it's a bigger cut than that. It's a big deal.
Well, they have to pay for the Melania movie somehow.
I guess so.
That is getting a lot of traction.
Or is it getting a lot of traction because it's getting little traction? Maybe. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be the news media is going to make fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to find a way to say, "Well, this is money laundering." Basically, I mean, Amazon puts $35 million or $30 million into the production. No, $40 million into the production and $35 million into the promotion. And by the way, he's also snuggling up to President Trump. Jeff Bezos' fortune in the first year since Donald Trump became president increased $37 billion.
Wow.
I don't know. But you know, look, there are plenty of movies that cost more and made less, no matter what her movie makes.
Sure.
I don't see it. It's not a big a deal. If people want to go see it, it's a documentary. I don't know how many other first ladies would open themselves up to say, follow me around during as we get ready for the election or ready to take over the White House. I don't know if maybe Michelle Obama would do that. I don't know. But I don't think the fact that it has never happened before means very much. I can't imagine. Can you imagine if Steven Spielberg or somebody who was a huge supporter of Bill Clinton, if they had an opportunity to do a documentary on Hillary, that they would say, no, we're not going to do that? Of course they would want to do that.
Oh, I'm sure they would have. And that would have even been different because she had her own political aspirations.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. I got my tickets, though. No, I don't.
When was the last time you went to a movie theater? An actual movie theater?
I don't go often. I didn't go even for the Tom Cruise, the finale of Mission Impossible. I didn't even go to the movie theater for that.
Did you see Top Gun? The Maverick?
I did not see that at the theater.
You didn't see that at the theater either?
I know I'm a loser. But
you're not a loser. You just have different things get you going.
I don't have anybody to go with me, and I don't want to go by myself.
I go to movies alone.
But I go. Well, that's you. But I have a big TV and good sound.
Mm-hmm.
I can pause it if I have to, leave the room for a sec.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I didn't. Melania. We'll look at the reviews. Maybe it'll be good. I mean, maybe it'll. I hope it does. I hope it does well. I hope it makes money. And if it doesn't make money, I guarantee you, we're going to look at other movies, and that if this is highly criticized, I want to look at other movies, how much they cost, and how much they made, and whether they're considered just such unbelievable works of art, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. I'm making a note.
Yeah.
Good news about our life expectancy here in America. Did you see that?
No.
An American born in 2024. So somebody who's maybe 2, but probably not quite yet 2. What is the age you think that they can, which they can expect to live?
Okay. You're saying what will be the
life
expectancy for a child born
in 2024?
I'm going to, does it matter if they just differentiate male or female?
They don't, not here.
Okay. I'm going to say,
this just came out yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I have not seen this. I'm going to say, I think we've been hovering around mid to late 70s. But that's for us. I mean, a lot of good it does me for a kid born 2 years ago. What do I care? I'll be long gone. But I'm going to say.
Good news for our country.
I'm going to say.
You have a grandchild.
I do.
Born in 2025. Right?
I sure do. Yeah, he's about to be. Wow, he's about to be 1. I would say, I'm going to say 90. I don't think it's in the hundreds. I'm going to say 94.
You overshot it by a little bit. It's 79.
Oh, really?
79
that's much lower than I
on
thought.
Average. That's an increase of more than a half a year from 2023. The new high surpasses the last peak in life expectancy in 2019, and it's the highest since the government started tracking this measure of the nation's health and well-being. Do you know when we started tracking that?
No.
1900.
So, but what is it now? I thought now we were at 75, 70. What's the life expectancy of let's say, of someone born, let's take my year.
Okay.
Someone born in 1961. What is the life expectancy?
Let me think about that for a moment.
Yeah, think about that with your computer there for a second. I thought we were well into the 70s. I thought the numbers were something like this. For men, it is 74, and for women, it is 77.
69.7 if you were born in 1960.
You are kidding.
That's the average life expectancy.
Wow, so 5 more years.
Mm-hmm.
That's not that much.
Now, actually, I mean, to be perfectly clear, it says for someone born in 1960, average life expectancy was around 69.7 years. So that might have been at the time of your birth. That was your life expectancy.
Okay, look up.
But now it might be completely different. How long does the average American male live?
There you go.
Average life expectancy for males in the U.S. This says again 75.8 years, and that was in 2023.
Yeah.
So this might key figures for 2023 75.8.
I didn't know that when they do that, like if they tell you that story, the life expectancy of an American male is fill in the blank 75 years old. If I am 69 years old, I think, oh, good, 75, that's pretty good. But if what they're saying is, no, that's for a child born now. It's like, dude, that doesn't help me at all.
So this is kind of interesting because there are studies that talk about the life expectancy in different states. So obviously that can't have anything to do with, when you were born because they're talking about where
Exactly.
you live now. But life expectancy, this is how the government defines it, okay? Life expectancy, which is also called life expectancy at birth, is a projection of what the average age of death will be for people born today.
Okay,
And the
I got
estimate
it.
is based on age-specific death rates that are reported in the year of birth.
So when somebody said, we say, hey, good news, we have an increase in the life expectancy, and you say, oh, that's great. What is that? And they say, oh, it's now 77. I go, fantastic, because it used to be 72. And then they say, no, it doesn't apply to you. You're still capping at 69.
Well, you're not necessarily capping
I know,
at 69. And there
But
are
it
a
doesn't
lot
apply
of
to
things.
you. It applies to those that are born now.
Well, life expectancy is not the same as the average age of death and the death rate. So the average age of death in the United States is calculated using the ages of every person who died in a given year.
Okay.
So the death rate is based on the proportion of people who died in a specific year.
So my guess would be the death rate is higher than the life expectancy.
I would think so. Yeah, highest life expectancy at birth, that's still life expectancy at birth, is in Hawaii. In 2021, 79.9.
You know why? Because Hawaii.
Because Hawaii.
It smells better in Hawaii.
Does it?
Yeah. Well, parts of Hawaii. With the trade winds.
Trees and the trade winds and
that air
the
that's coming in.
flowers and
But the air that's coming in has not been over land
it's really
for
clean.
thousands of hundreds and hundreds of miles. It's just sweet. It's a sweeter smell. I can't explain it. It's not even necessarily a flowery smell.
Yeah.
It's just better. But I wouldn't want to live there. I mean, it's a decent place. I've only been there to work, but
I've never been there. I wouldn't mind visiting.
yeah,
but,
you go. I would love to go on vacation sometime. I've only been there to work, but it is nice. It rains about every afternoon for a little bit. But there are times of the year you don't want to go because it's very, very humid, and you want to go when you get the trade winds.
Yeah.
And I've been there both times. Trade winds time is better. I don't remember what time of year that is. I think April is a good time, as I recall. Didn't I used to go in April?
You did used to go in April. April and August, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, I think August is the one you don't want to go in
June,
August. Yeah.
April, August, and June.
I think it's earlier in the year is a little better if you want to go.
Well, in any case.
Very expensive, though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Very.
I've heard that. This is good news. This is seen as good news for America. However, there are still some significant disparities among average life expectancy for Americans and that of other wealthy nations.
Okay.
I don't know if this actually falls under the same category, but you and I have joked in the past about things when we've had. The one thing that I remember is we used to buy chips out of the machine
Oh,
in
yeah.
the in a radio station
Yeah.
where we worked when we were young, and we didn't care what terrible snacks we were putting into
I
our
like
bodies.
those
And
times.
so at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 4:30 in the afternoon for 75 cents, we'd get a bag of Doritos or a bag of Lay's potato chips or something like that. And at one point, we noticed that the bag was still the same size, but there were fewer chips in it.
Yeah, there's a name for that. It's I can't recall what it's called. It's
Deceptive?
No, it's called shrinkflation.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, you're right.
So they're giving you it's not a 10-pack of sodas. It's now an 8-pack of sodas. But the cost is the same.
The price is the same.
Or they're not
Yeah.
8-ounce cans. They're 7-ounce cans or whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, I know part of our joke used to be, can we sue?
Well,
we were so upset about can we sue them? Because we knew we couldn't, but you saw the bag of chips. The bag size had remained the same, but when you opened it, it was only half full
only
of
like 4
chips.
chips. But the reason that we came up with that was a salesperson, a girl, a salesperson girl, was commenting on that, and what she said was, "Can they even do that legally?
No, that's right.
Can they change the ounces in their product legally?" Like I was like, oh.
Yeah. I don't know if this is related to that at all, but that's the first thing I thought of. 2 women in Southern California have filed a lawsuit saying that Costco used false advertising by labeling its rotisserie chicken as preservative-free.
Oh, is it not preservative-free?
For years, Costco has been selling these, their rotisserie chickens that are these big, beautiful, juicy chickens for $4.99.
I know.
And you can't get, most places, a lot of places cost twice as much as that, or sometimes maybe even more.
It's the $2 chuck of Costco.
It is. It
is sort
and
of.
of course, they lure you in with the $5 rotisserie chicken, and you're leaving, with $200 worth of paper goods.
With a pallet of toilet paper.
Of course. Well, apparently the chicken is made with 2 preservatives. Sodium phosphate and
makes sense.
carrageenan. Is it carrageenan or carrageenan? I'm not sure. I'm going to say carrageenan.
Okay.
But that is according to Costco and the lawsuit that was filed on January 22nd, so just a week or so ago. And the filing includes pictures of the sign for the Kirkland Signature Seasoned Rotisserie Chicken, which is being sold for $4.99. And among the chicken's qualities, it says on that sign, gluten-free, no artificial flavors, and no preservatives. So the plaintiffs, Bianca Johnson of Big Bear, California, and Anastasia Chernov of Escondido, California, prefer to buy foods that are preservative-free when possible, according to the complaint. I mean, I don't know about chemicals and stuff like that. I don't know what makes something appear more plump, but I just, one look at those chickens could sort of tell you.
Yeah.
That's
something's off.
They did something to that chicken. Now I've purchased them and I've eaten them.
Yeah,
but you just,
I prefer meats that are is it GMO growth hormones?
Yeah, no
growth hormones, no antibiotics. I prefer those and no preservatives. If I can get that, I want all of the. When I buy chicken.
Yeah,
I always buy chicken that has none of that stuff. I don't want any.
And that's it. I mean, you're also you're losing the convenience factor because you're going to cook that chicken yourself.
No, it's true, and yeah, it's not as plump and all that. It looks a little scrawnier.
So carrageenan is a natural polysaccharide extracted from red seaweed, which is used as a thickener, stabilizer, and a gelling agent in many foods. Dairy, plant-based milks. I've seen it in plant-based milks, in oat milk and stuff like that too. And processed meats to improve texture and prevent separation. Now, usually it's recognized as safe for food use, but some controversy still exists because there are concerns about its potential to cause inflammation and digestive issues.
By the way, I think we're going to come full circle on plant-based milk. But
How so? What do you mean?
I think the way we did on seed oil, I think it took a long time to figure out. Yeah, that's not the way to go. I think we're going to come around on that too. I think plant-based milk. I don't know anything.
You mean we're going to come back around to like where people are going to think it's good, or they're
No,
going to think
no,
it's not
no,
good? Because I think there are already a lot of people who are
is
saying
that right?
it's not. Yeah,
Okay, well
it's
then
maybe not
maybe
the,
we're already
the
there.
bee's knees that we thought
Okay,
it was.
yeah, I think when you maybe I won't delete that. I'll just flaunt my ignorance. I didn't know we were already there. I think either have milk, real milk, or don't have real milk.
Mm-hmm.
Not plant-based milk. And I've enjoyed plant-based milk.
Yeah.
I put is it oat milk? Is it oat milk in the coffee sometimes?
Yeah,
it has a sweetness to it.
It does have
a
sweetness.
You don't need any sugar or anything.
Well, that's part of the problem.
With the
I
thing
think there might be
is-
some added
gotcha.
sugar in there.
Yeah,
if
see.
you get it unsweetened, then it's not as as tasty.
You stick
maybe,
with the
but
cow.
Yeah, me too.
Elsie.
Mm-hmm. Who was William Shakespeare really? Well, maybe not. Who was William Shakespeare?
I heard on the street
Mm-hmm.
that William Shakespeare was a black Jewish person.
Well, William Shakespeare,
a black Jewish woman.
William Shakespeare was actually the same guy. But there is some question about whether or not he actually wrote the things that have, been attributed to
Somebody
him
else did it.
for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Feminist historian Irene Coslet argues that the real genius behind the world's most famous plays was Amelia Bassano,
I gotcha.
who was a Tudor court poet who used Shakespeare as a pen name, and she was a black Jewish woman. Ms. Coslet, she's the writer of this book. She says that Elizabethan society preferred the narrative of a white male genius to acknowledging a black female playwright.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm. This is not the first time that this has come up. Literary scholars have long speculated that Bassano could be the dark lady that was immortalized in Shakespeare's sonnets. No one during Shakespeare's lifetime ever disputed his authorship. Even his theatrical rival, Ben Jonson, praised him as a genius for all time, which I guess he still could have been. I don't think they're saying he didn't write any of it, but that he didn't write all of it. He didn't write a lot of it. I don't know. He had very modest origins. He was a glover's son, had limited schooling, which means that a lot of people have wondered, how did he achieve such literary brilliance if he wasn't really educated? Miss Coslet talks about this in her book. She writes, historians have not managed to explain how the Stratford man, a semi-illiterate moneylender, managed to gain such a level of erudition. And I just had to read that because, you love
that word.
Yeah, I love that word.
Mm-hmm.
I love that word because it's the best compliment I ever got when somebody called me erudite. And I was ashamed to have to look it up after I left the office. It was more than 20 years ago. But he said, that's you're quite erudite. And seriously, I had to look it up as soon as I think that was before I carried a little computer in my pocket and I had to go home and look it up in the dictionary.
They're getting pushback on this. I don't know if you've seen that. You have that as part of your story.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
No, that's not a part of this story. But what I didn't know is that just a couple of years ago, a book called By Any Other Name, which is a novel by Jodi Picoult, very popular American novelist, and she talked about this. In this book, she suggested that Shakespeare sold his name to people who wanted to hide themselves as writers. And her book is fiction, but it's like a time-shifting thing that follows Amelia Bassano, who we just mentioned as the real-life Elizabethan woman who is considered to be maybe somebody who wrote some of Shakespeare's plays. And the modern timeline centers on one of her descendants, who is a playwright who faces similar sexism in the theater world. So I didn't even know. Listen, I majored in English. I spent an entire semester in a class at 8:00 in the morning on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that was only about Shakespeare. And all of this is news to me. Shakespeare in Love would have not been nearly as interesting a movie.
Right.
If he didn't really write all that stuff. They're not saying that Shakespeare didn't exist.
But
They're saying that he's kind of sort of sold his name. He allowed for other people to write under his name to give them a certain amount of gravitas, and he wound up, keeping all of the
It seems wild.
praise.
It seems wild that could have been kept secret for so long.
Mm-hmm.
That it took what you said, liberal historian. Is that how she described herself? You said she is a feminist historian.
Yeah.
The feminist historian,
Mm-hmm.
surprisingly, has concluded that William Shakespeare's best works were actually written by a woman.
I think that just means she writes about female things.
Oh, does it?
Feminist historian. Maybe not. I don't know.
She
What is
specializes in feminist history. Is that why? Yeah, look that up. What does that mean? Feminist historian.
What is a feminist historian?
Is that a
Let's
person that is a feminist who is a historian?
see. A
or someone who is
scholar who analyzes the past through a feminist lens,
There you go.
focusing on women's experiences, gender roles, power structures, and challenging traditional narratives by integrating marginalized voices, often using methodologies like gender theory to uncover how patriarchy and social norms shaped history.
There you go.
Okay, so a
Yeah.
feminist
Sounds like
historian is a feminist.
Sounds like one of the newer majors in college. Okay, so let's get everybody get your tickets to Melania. Lauren, where do you want to meet? The food court? Let's meet at the food court. Let's meet at the food
meet
court.
at the food court.
I like Which. I like the
We
sandwiches
should
at
see where
Which.
it's playing.
I might go see it.
You are not. Oh my gosh! If that's what you choose to go to a movie theater for,
You didn't see Hamnet, and you'll see Melania.
you haven't seen anything, and you
Okay,
haven't
don't
seen
be
stuff
so
you
critical.
care
Don't
about,
be so
not stuff.
critical.
I'm not talking about going to see
All right,
stuff that
take
I
it easy.
care about.
Take it easy. Don't be so critical.
Let's see, Melania.
I thought you wanted me to go to the theater.
I'm not being
told me to go for
critical. I'm
those things.
surprised.
No, I wouldn't go. I just don't. I don't like getting out and doing stuff. I like my privacy. I thought it was Monday, but I think it's today.
It is today.
So it opens today.
Opens today.
Melania opens today. There will be all manner of news, interviews. Hey, what are you here to see? I'm here to see. And we'll see what it looks like. I mean, we'll see what the reaction is. But I think it's going to be very critical reporting. It will be panned, probably. But I just think, who cares? I mean, we've had horrible documentaries before.
It's playing all over town.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the at some of the sites where you can check. You can buy tickets online and choose your seats. And at a few of these showings, I've only clicked on a couple of them. There are some seats purchased.
I think people will protest. I think you're going to find some protestation.
Find better things to do.
Yeah,
than
for
that.
sure. Yeah.
That would be my advice.
Yep. Okay. That is the Wilder Show podcast.
It is.
Instagram, you'll find us there. Search Wilder Show Pod. If you want to send us email, we appreciate that. Just send it to podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all the places. Also on TikTok now and again. Wherever you get your podcasts, would you please like, rate, follow, subscribe, share, and comment? All that engagement matters in ways I don't still understand, but it does. So when you do that, it helps us. And we appreciate that. And Lauren, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Da 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 da.